integrating and fully expressing human potential. And I was raised as a martial artist. In fact, the first conscious memory I have as a human being was watching a movie called Enter the Dragon. Anyone remember that movie? And in that movie, in that memory in my mind, I was imprinted with the iconography, with the image of a real flesh and blood superhero. His name was Bruce Lee. Anybody remember him? And what that did to me and for me is that gave me a reference point for human potential, for limitless living. And throughout my life, growing up as a martial artist and a high-performing athlete, I've been able to help other people as a teacher, as a coach, and also myself really break through barriers, really find out what are the fringes of what's possible. And what my mission is now is really about making living foods and superfoods and herbs and spring water and natural supplementation and human optimization tools accessible and an option for every human being on this planet. Can you get on board with that? So for the last 10 years, the last decade, I really believe, and it's definitely been reflected to me by all my colleagues in the field, that I've really been helping lead a movement in this field of bringing high-grade nutrition to people's lives, really helping them understand the connection between the mind and the body, and also the heart, and how the full utility of our full human potential when we really tap into what our potential is, when we really tap into what's possible, and we fuel our body with the best food ever, and gain full utility of this thing up here called the mind, amazing things can happen. And throughout the years, I've been mentored, I've been coached, I've had the pleasure of being around literally some of the greatest speakers and some of the greatest thought leaders in the health and human potential movement. And I've looked at this thing around longevity and around health and around healing, because I've been around it for the last decade at a very intense level. I've seen the worst of the worst, and I've seen the best of the best. And I've been trying to figure out, what is health all about? What is healing all about? What is the impact of nutrition on the body? What is the difference between somebody that's on their deathbed, or you take two people with an identical situation that are right there next to each other in the ER, and by the way, I worked in the emergency room for 3 years, so I've actually seen it through observation. What is the difference between the person who heals and the person who doesn't? And I've really been looking at this situation from all different angles, and with all the information on nutrition that I've gathered, there's one thing that I feel like is indisputable. Because when you get into the nutrition field, there's all kinds of different opinions and conflicting perspectives. Has anyone seen this? Yeah. Like you get into one diet, 2 diets, 3 diets. By the word diet has the word die in it. Has anyone ever noticed that? So instead of diet, we're trying to get on the live it. And that's the key. That's the thing I figured out, is that it's about living it, right? Living it, being congruent with your thoughts, your habits, your heart set. And then the key here to longevity is about living a life that you actually want to live. It's about living your purpose. Because what snaps somebody out of, what snaps them out of a particular condition, what brings them alive, is something undefinable. It's their life force. It's the thing that animates them. It's the thing that gets them up in the morning, right? It's the thing that you were born here for. And when I think about health, I'm not actually interested in health anymore. Is anyone here interested in just talking about let's get healthy? I'm so over that conversation. I'm into full human optimization. What a difference. There's no ceiling to that. If you focus on your human potential and what you're here to do, why you were born and put on this planet, what is the unique contribution that you have to give, everything else starts to come together. All those little food habits that you may be struggling with, the food addictions, or whatever the case is, those cravings, all of that starts to remove itself once you know why you're here. Because your values are in alignment. And if your value, for example, if you're an environmentalist, and I've been looking at this for years, if you're an environmentalist but you're eating junk food and genetically modified food and factory farm food, then you can't really call yourself an environmentalist because there's an energetic discrepancy. There's a misalignment. Does that make sense? Yeah. But instead of focusing on that, maybe if we focus on what we put in our holy temple, the food that we put in and where that food comes from and the energy that's encoded in that food and how that affects the bio